Welcome to Talking Horses. Greg Wolf, Anthony Stabile to bring you this Sunday card and sort through a difficult group of races to try and tackle today.
How are you?
I'm doing well.
You'll be get used to this set for the next.
Yeah, I'm going to be here quite a bit next week.
You'll be filling in for yours truly.
I'm going to. Does that mean I have to be in that seat?
This is just a guess. I got a funny feeling my man's not going to give his chair up.
We will see. See how
just a guess. That is just a guess.
Real quick before we get into today, let's talk about the Stymie real quick. Green light go. What'd you think?
You know, it's good to see a horse who had such promise finally start to realize it, right? And I think he's a tale of two careers. You and I talked about this doing the Blood Horse. His races for Jimmy Jerkins are just so much better than anything else he's ever really done in his career. And now he's paired up kind of really good races with the allowance. I mean, really 3 in a row, the Fall Highway, the allowance win, and now yesterday Stymie. Going to cut him back off the 2-mile wins around the one turn. 4-hour Carter going the 7/8. That's shaping up to be a really nice renewal of the Carter, and I'm looking forward to it. It's good to see him. It's good to see these horses who have this promise start to realize it, and it's good to see them owners keeping horses around into his 5-year-old year. You know, I think that's important too. I think that's it illustrates how important it is to let them stay around.
Physically was so much ahead of everybody in the game as a 2-year-old. With that Saratoga special win, I actually liked him when he went against Tiz the Law.
Yeah,
that turned out to be the wrong
Tiz
call.
The Law in the Champagne.
Yeah, but Jimmy Jerkin says he wasn't really accelerating a ton down the stretch, but he wasn't backing up either. And he had finish. So, and he had a tough inside post. Impressive performance from him. I'm excited to see him in the Carter April 9th. New York bred, too, in the Rebel. That's always fun to see.
Unojo. Yes. Boy, talk about more trips, right? Saving all the ground and getting the job done. I know you were a fan of Ethereal Road, so was Andy, quite a few other people. Man, he ran his eyeballs out.
It's a Calvin Borrell-like ride.
On Unojo, yes.
Yeah.
Ramon Vasquez gave the horse an excellent ride yesterday. They should give him double. Don't get mad at me, owners of Unojo, but they should. That was a hell of a ride.
And congrats to Anthony Dutrow too, who's
did a great job with him when
kind
he was
of
up
shared
here.
training
duties.
duties.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Tony and the crew do a great job, and yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing Ethereal Road out of there and Barber Road. What's his name, right? A couple
strong,
of roads.
Yeah.
Emblem Road was the only one who got the job done yesterday of the roads at $230. He keeps finishing up in these races. He's either the biggest sucker horse on the Triple Crown Trail this year because his running style, and if you do it once, fine. You do it twice. He's done it 3 times now. So this is something that you have to keep in mind because as these distances get longer, you would imagine the way this horse is gobbling up ground at the end of these mile and 16th races, these added distances are going to help him. He'll have him and Ethereal Road will have my money next time.
Yeah, I think a lot of people would agree. The way he was finishing up and galloping out after. I mean, he's the one probably, him and Ethereal Road for sure, the ones you want. But I mean, he blew by Ethereal Road as well.
He did.
Past the wire in that race. Fun one to watch on Road to the Triple Crown on Saturday. Today, we're going to get into the opener in a moment. Let's get the business out of the way first. How to play all the races. Get signed up. Started with Naira Bets. $200 deposit match. Sign up bonus. Great offer. Bonus code to take advantage. Bonus 200. Download the app or you can go to nairabets.com to get involved. We're just 67 minutes to post here. Track is fast for this Sunday card. Got a bonus today in the late pick 5 at Santa Anita. Hit the late pick 5 and you're going to split a $3,000 pool in addition to your winnings.
Get to hear the dulcet tones of my main man, Frank Miramati, as well. So yeah, head on over to Naira Bets. Don't forget you have to opt in to all of our promotions now, including tomorrow night. 10 times the points at Yonkers, 10 times the points in the afternoon at Saratoga Harness, I believe, as well. So for you harness fans out there, tomorrow's the day for you, and we will bring you a slew of new promotions coming this month. I believe tomorrow is the last day of February.
It's crazy.
See, I'm not lying. It's Sunday, February 27th. There you go.
I had a birthday in February.
Did you?
I did.
Were you one of these guys who keep your birthday quiet?
I kept it quiet.
That's terrible.
I took the next day off.
Bad job.
America's Day at the Races, 3 Eastern start time today on FS2. You'll see us from 3 to 6. Hope you join us. Check your local listings, but that's when we're on.
We've already talked about my birthday. It's March 31st. I mean, we started talking about it 6 weeks out.
Don't be shy.
No, I'm not shy. My birthday is celebrated like and should be a national holiday.
I completely agree. Let's get into it. First at Aqueduct, 40 maiden claiming event. It's 7/8 of a mile. School of thought for me, just coming out of such a tougher race last time out. The horse who won this race, Default Protection, we're going to see School of Thought's race. Could be a decent horse for Chad Brown. Came back out of this, won with an 80 buyer in an open N1X.
I didn't see picks up there, Greg. I went 3-1-5-2. You?
We agree.
3-1-5. Okay, so Greg and I have the same picks here. Yeah. I am not a fan of ordinarily taking horses from Chad Brown, but this horse has 2 maiden special weight races that make him competitive in here, and I am always going to side with a horse that's 0 for 6 over a horse that's 0 for 22. Unlike yesterday in the last race where Andy astutely pointed out that I picked a horse that was 1 for 29, I believe that's at around the 16th pole right now. If one of these horses don't win this race,
hard to see, yes, anyone else stepping out. I will say this about a couple of things. School of Thought was in for 20,000 once, dropped in for 20 at Belmont. It was off a bit of a layoff, and I'm not concerned that much. He was the favorite in there too. He was with Chad Brown then that he got beat, because he did beat the rest of the field pretty handily, aside from the winner of that race.
A horse like School of Thought does not fit in the Klarovich Chad Brown program. So especially that time of year when Belmont's wrapping up, base of operations shifts down to South Florida, both Payson Park and Palmettos, right? A lot of racing at Gulfstream in Tampa. They weed these horses out, and you wanted them for 20. You got them for 20, and the one thing that for certain, they have been given the best care. So I think a lot of people do like to claim off of Chad because they think they're getting, a well managed and obviously maybe not the most talented horse, but certainly a horse that's been taken well care of and a well managed horse. And this horse has kind of earned himself out in the couple of maiden, the one race at Finger Lakes, the race down here last time. And now he drops in for the tag. Blinkers on, hot rod and Trevor McCarthy. And going to take him over and 0 for 22 every day of the week. If
you look at that last race, too, I mean, he broke incredibly sharp on top in that race. And I'm sure you say it a lot on this program. You can count on Trevor McCarthy to put horses in great position, and he's got a horse who can break sharp and do that, probably put him wherever he wants.
Yeah, with the blinkers on, I mean, Wicked Happy, Madame Rose, he'll put this horse wherever she wants.
The 5, by the way, I'll just mention it real quick. Look, first-time starter, we don't know what we're going to get here. The Dam did produce, though, a 12-time winner. A little bit interesting, maybe to get a piece underneath, but I thought 3 was
Channel.
Way horse to beat.
Yeah, an English Channel on the dirt going 7 in the middle of the winter at Aqueduct.
Race 2.
Say you see it all, but you really never will see it all.
7 furlongs in the second. New York bred maiden 40 race in this spot. Got the gold for you.
Yeah. I struggled with making a top pick in here. You have the natural dropper in the number 2, BC Glory Days, who's never run for a tag, but again, 0 for 10. And you guys, I hate to put it this way, but I'm just kind of sick of this horse. There have been a couple of times, especially early on in his career, where he should have got the job done in his debut in the second start when he was 3-5 that day, and then he just kind of tailed off. I know his figs were consistent until his last start where he kind of dropped off the proverbial cliff. The cobbler came back and did not run particularly well yesterday. Feathers Road's a turf horse. Brew Pub won 2 in a row, but he kind of worked out ideal trips to win both of those races. You want to take this horse David has him 8-5 on the morning line. The race is probably going to shake out. The tote's probably going to shake out the same way. Can he win? He can absolutely win. You really want to take this horse at under 2-1? I don't. Off those races? Because now it's like, all right, finally going to drop him in, but what's left? I don't know what's left. This horse, there's been a drop-off, and there's a chance this horse might be a turf horse. His turf figs are on par with his dirt races. He might be a turf horse. So I could see. I thought it was a 2-horse race, but it wouldn't shock me if got the gold wins. But I thought BC Glory Days, Mr. Buckley were the 2 to have in here. And Mr. Buckley, obviously something went wrong because he ran too bad to be believed, and then we didn't see him from July until now. I think he's going to be the speed of the speed, and here he's going to be alone in front. And New Gelding gets Lasix fresh off the bench. He's going to wire this field, I think, pretty handily. He's supposed to be gone.
2 back. This is in the race against Big Bobby, who's a pretty good horse at the New York bred level. Ran an 83 buyer in a win here. He's been second at Gold Panda. He's been second at Saratoga Pal, who's later on the card. The only horse who outquicked Mr. Buckley in this race early was Arms and Armor, who was a lightning rod out of the gate. So I think Manny Franco is going to be clear early, and if this horse is even close to what he was before he went to the bench, he could just put this field to sleep.
He's got to go 7 off the bench. Part of the reason I like Got the Gold is I do believe Mr. Buckley will be in front. I would imagine BC Glory Days is kind of, leaving for some position in here. I hope he can soften him up a little bit at some point, and Got the Gold can come running. Got the Gold, I said natural, I said a true dropper for BC Glory Days. Got the Gold is not. He has run for the tag before. In fact, the only 2 of the 3 times he's hit the board in his career are when he was in for this $40,000 tag. So I think this is where he belongs. I'm hoping he gets a little pace to run that, and I'm hoping of the 3 logical horses, he's the best price and he can run them down.
All right, race 3, $32,000 claiming sprint, 6 furlongs. I really struggled with who to go with in this race because I really wanted to go with somebody on the rail because this horse just has big ability. I mean, this horse ran 3rd against Bank on Shea, who's come back to win the Pelican, who's 5 for 8 lifetime. He's won the Affirmed Success.
You're talking about somebody.
Yeah, I'm talking about somebody that won. And that was that 3rd place finish at this level off a long layoff. We hadn't seen him since July. That was mid-January. I think he improves off that race. You get Trevor McCarthy. In the end, I wound up going to the 6 near Belle Tapisserie because he, 7-year-old now, is just a win machine. 14-time winner. This was off a short layoff for him, and he just guns down the load speed in here with a good figure.
Do you know that's the word I used?
Did you really?
Yeah.
In this race.
I said next flight was on his hands and knees right here, and that's exactly what he was, the little pat on the back there. Yeah, Belle Tapisserie. Now, this is another horse. See, this is the fun thing about these claiming races. This is what I love about these claiming races. You can look through this. It's just a field of 6, right? But in this field of 6, Happy Farm is a fall high weight winner and just missed the Firenze Fire in the Gravesend. First stakes winner I ever called was Happy Farm, so he's near and dear to my heart.
Nice.
Aristocratic, another horse, used to knock around in Stakes Company as fast as they come at one point. At one point, and it's still at that point, there aren't 5 faster horses for the first 3/8 of a mile on the ground than Aristocratic, right? You have Free Enterprise. Free Enterprise started his career with 101 buyer speed, with 100 buyer speed figures. Looked like he was going to be anything. Belle Tapisserie, the same thing. He was down in South Florida. He was a horse that knocked around those minor stakes races. So it's always fun to see these horses come together.
Back to Belle Tapisserie for a minute. I mean, 4 or 5 starts back. So we had a couple of races. This was late last summer. Colonial and Pimlico in 2 wins. Those were wins that could have easily been against Stakes Company. Those figures were so big.
I don't disagree, but you got to be careful there because he ran for a guy in Kieran McGee who wins at 25% down in that Mid-Atlantic region. That guy is tough as nails down there. So, listen, the horse has been with Eddie Keneally, Norm Cash, Linda Rice. Horse been in good barns. Oscar Barrera III takes over now. It's a little bit of a quick turnaround, and I have to tell you, the field he faced last time, this is like the 98 Breeders' Cup Sprint compared to the field he raced against last time. These are some salty horses in here, but I'm never going to knock you off a 10-to-1 shot because if you get this horse home today, you're going to get $25 on this horse today.
Mr. Phil for you.
So we
Jimmy
talked
Ryerson.
about fast horses, right? Aristocratic's going to go to the lead. And the way the Charlie Baker barn has been going, it's not prudent to be picking against horses like this. But I would have to imagine, first time for Rudy. I know he has not shown his speed in a long time. But I have to think, first time for Rudy, Happy Farm is going to show some of his old speed.
And he used to be one of the quickest horses on the circuit.
He's not Aristocratic quick, but you would imagine off a little bit of a freshening, first time for Rudy.
He used to be.
I still think he has a little speed. So I would imagine, I don't want to say they're going to hit, but I would imagine Aristocratic gets a little pressure. And Aristocratic's kind of been appointment only, June to October, October to December, December to the end of February now, another 10 weeks. It was hard for me to separate the 3 horses. I thought the race was 2, 3, 4. And at the end of the day, I promised Jimmy Ryerson I won't pick any more of his horses because he doesn't win when I pick him. But I had to renege. I'm a Mr. Phil fan. Happy medium, what do you think now, would be no price in here. I don't know what happened at Parks last time. I can tell you this. He is going to get a good trip today. He is going to sit behind Aristocratic and in all likelihood Happy Farm. And I think he's going to work out a good trip today. I don't necessarily trust Aristocratic. Happy Farm is who he is at this point in his career. So I'm going to take a little shot with the horse that should be the first one to come calling, as I like to say, in Mr. Phil.
And, we got to touch again just for a moment on Happy Farm because this is a horse still. He was he wasn't what he was, obviously, when he was with Jason Service.
No,
None
he's
of those
not.
horses were. But he still proved that he's pretty darn good when he went to some other barns. And even recently, that last race was just too bad to be believed. Can he kind of rebound a little bit now as an 8-year-old, his 8-year-old debut? He's got races 2, 3, 4 starts back that win this race.
Like I said, he'll always be very near and dear to my heart.
Yeah.
The fan in me will always root for Happy Farm to cross the wire first. I would just have to imagine his job is kind of difficult today if he has to chase Aristocratic. But, you know, he's probably the horse in here that has the best races overall in his career.
The way we're looking at that one, it sounds like it's the toughest race in the card.
That's a fun race. I'm looking forward to that race a lot. I'll watch that. I'll go and watch that race outside on the second floor.
I'm excited for it.
I'll grab the binocs from my office and I'll go watch that race on the second floor outside.
Fourth
like
kicks.
I did when I was 10. That's what I'll do.
Where you have your regular spot?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not going to share.
It's on the second floor, by
Okay.
the boxes, by the seats. I'm outside. Everybody sees it. I'm there all the time.
Fourth at Aqueduct kicks off the pick 6. State bred 25 maiden claiming 1 turn mile. And you have gone to Lucky Mucho Man, showed some brief speed, and now adds blinkers, start number 2.
Yeah, exactly. Brief speed, puts the blinkers on, stretches out to the mile. I do not see any speed in this race, Greg. And when I think I can expose that against a bunch of bottom-level maidens, I'm going to try and do that. I would not want to make a morning line, period. I wouldn't want to make a morning line in this race because, quite frankly, there's no form. There's very little form to go off of in here, right? Infeasible, the one's a natural drop. The other Rob Atras horse, the number 6, Eddie the Great, has a good race at the distance and for a little bit better for the 40. Then came back last time and was awful after a little bit of a slow break at 8-5. Those are your 2 favorites. Right, so I got to go hunting somewhere else. If those are your 2 morning line favorites, I got to go looking somewhere else. And Lucky Mucho Man, again, sorry, Jimmy, 2 in a row I picked you. Look, he took a little money first time, too. He was 9-2.
Well, so he was in this Wicosity race. This was back on February 12th. Lucky Mucho Man, we talked about his pace. He's the 5 in here. Wicosity is the 6. They went pretty slow early in this race. And I just like the fact Wicosity, 3rd off the bench today, and showed at least a hint of a bill. I mean, he got a 36 buyer in this race. You can't get too excited about him.
No. Can't get too excited about anybody in here. Right? If we're going to look at strictly figs, it's the 3 and the 6. You can't really go anywhere else besides 3s and 6s. Right? And people are going to overlook the connections of the 3 Regal Empire. Now, I don't like
he's
the
outside,
I don't like
he's
the horse.
wide.
Yeah. I don't like the horse, but
At least he was in the mix. I want to pick at him second. I went to Eddie the Great. He's dropping down. He's shown ability against a better level, hitting the board. I think he's going to be the one to beat. He's probably going to be the favorite in here. Infeasible, you think he's going to take that much money?
He's going. You know why he'll take money, Greg? They're going to see Bold Journey. The race he came out of last time might be okay, and he's a dropper. He's dropping down to the bottom.
Yeah.
I mean, he'll probably the two Rob Atras horses, the 1 Infeasible and the 6 Eddie the Great, will vie for favoritism. They could both be 5-2, 2-1 when all said and done. It'll be $1,500 will separate these 2 horses. I would think it's not gonna be a big. I can't imagine it's gonna be a big margin, but I could be wrong.
Get into the next one or pause?
No, we'll do this. That starts the pick 6, by the way. No
Right.
carryover. This kicks off the late pick 5.
Yep, late pick 5 here in the 5th $20,000 claiming race. It's a 6 furlong sprint. In this spot, we've both gone to Saratoga Beauty. 6-time winner, 4 for 7 here in New York at Aqueduct. And this is a triple reclaim for Rob Atras, which that's a very positive sign for me.
I thought her biggest competition would have been Greatest Love, who comes out. I don't know if I'm supposed to make fun of Linda because Andy's not here, that she scratched the horse today. I'm going to leave it alone. But I'll tell you what, Greatest Love was awful 2 weeks ago. Awful, awful, awful. And if that's the horse I thought was Saratoga Beauty's biggest competition today, I'm obviously leaning heavily on Saratoga Beauty this afternoon in the early and the late pick 5. I don't know where else you go, Greg. I mean, you awesome indraw off the claim, kept in the easy for me to say, kept in claiming jail. She won 2 back. She got herself on front and just kept going.
What happened to Spunday Ta? I mean, her last 2 starts has just been abysmal. She was really good. I mean, she's putting big figures together before that, and she's just fallen off the cliff.
More often than not, I would tell you it was the claim from our buddy Tom Amos, but the fact of the matter is, she won 2 in a row after Tom lost her. Tom's tough to claim
For two
off,
different
don't get me
barns.
wrong. For 2 different barns, yes. Well, for less and for the level she was claimed for. It's hard to improve with Tom. I don't know what happened to her.
Look, way too tough a level last start, so we can
know.
forgive that.
Well, last
maybe.
2 starts, right? But I mean, to run that poorly,
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with her.
Saratoga Beauty, too, quick, but doesn't have to be in the lead to win. Obviously loves it at Aqueduct. Ton to like, but now with the scratch of the 4, how short a price is she going to be?
Prohibitive. She's 3 to 5, 4 to 5 today. She should be. She should be. I don't have any. There's no qualms for me with her being the overwhelming favorite in here. I mean, again, Awesome Indra's running mid-60s now. Splendid Ta is just, I don't know what's happened to her form. Splendid Ta is completely off form. You have her second, I have her third. I think that tells you what we think about the rest of the field in here.
Yeah, this was Saratoga Beauty back on November 18th, and I just wanted to show that early because that was showing she doesn't have to be in front to win.
Sits. She could just sit
sat
there.
off the early leader, and then she just completely pulled away, and she go off to win by 7 lengths, beating, among others, Awesome Indra in this one.
The only horse in this race that can find a race to beat her is Splendid Ta. And off those last 2 races, now you want to argue there was moisture in the track for her last 2 races. That's a tough argument to make when you consider going into those 2 races, she was 2 for 3 with a third on wet tracks. Now I know she's been faster on dry ground, but she's handled wet tracks in the past. She's going to be 50 lengths in the last 2 starts combined. So, you know, if that's the horse that I have to be most worrisome about with Saratoga Beauty.
Speed against much, much better. It wouldn't shock us by any stretch. Splendid Ta could certainly wake up.
She's the only one that has a race in her past
Yeah.
that could beat Saratoga Beauty.
Quick pause, and then we'll be back for the late pick 4.
Can't wait.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit nairabets.com.
Late pick 4 kicks off race 6 here at Aqueduct. 30 maiden claiming, 1 turn mile coming up. You have gone to Lucky Brody, who I picked 3rd in here. Why do you like Lucky Brody?
Yeah, Lucky Brody for the Nota is gonna comes out of the Rock Sugar and the Might As Well Run race. Kind of was in a weird spot around there. And this is another race, Greg, where I know my boy Colton's adding blinkers. And for those of you who didn't get that, he's getting the blinkers back on. He wore them one at a time. And he has a rider change to Luis Rodriguez Castro, who is aggressive. I would imagine he's going to go, my boy Colton from the rail. And I'm hoping Jelon Samuel is just aggressive with Lucky Brody today and gets him into the game more. He tried to last time. He was down inside. It was a weird, he was in a weird spot last time. It was just a weird race with Rock Sugar. And kind of feel like Might As Well Run, who was a gigantic price in that race, kind of just had a little bit of a better trip and just kind of hung around for pieces. Now one's going to be 7-2 on one line, the other one's 6-5. I don't think Lucky Brody necessarily ran that much worse to warrant a 1.5 or 2 points on the top board. And that's how this will shake out. I mean, if David has the 6-5 on the morning line, there's a really good chance the horse is going to be the prohibitive favorite in here. Or if you lay them that low, they're usually under even money. I don't want this horse off that one race. And it's really off the one race. I don't want him at even money at 4-5.
You're talking about the one race where he dropped in for a tag.
Yeah.
I thought he was the shortest winner on the card today.
Wow.
Yeah, and you're going to get no price, but...
You think he's a bigger lock than Saratoga Beauty?
I do.
Wow. All right.
That was first off a couple of months layoff. He was... This field, I just don't think is that deep in this spot. If he can...
Oh, it's not.
I think if he can even run back to this last race, he doesn't
It's
even have to
absolutely
improve.
not.
He's going to win. Manny Franco's back on board, second offshore layoff. Yeah, and I think it's an easier field than he got off the bench. He already showed he can handle Lucky Brody, but he's going to be. We got a leak, by the way. He's going to be very short.
That's there all the time. Yeah, going to be 4 to 5.
Flying with Angels. What do you think about the two?
I mean, if this horse is going to be the second choice, he finished behind both of our top picks last time. That was his first time for a tag for Kelly Rubley shipping in for West Point. He gets a rider change to Jose Gomez, so they're going to take the 7 pounds. What do you do with him? He didn't break that well. He was outside. I don't know. I guess he's the third horse. To me, it was 5s and 6s. I really didn't want to take the 6 at the short price, and then there was a little bit of a gap to the 2, to the 4 and 2, and then that was. I'm a raising sand. I'm like an addict with raising sand. I don't know what the problem is, but I do feel like he was kind of against it last time, and I feel like he's got a chance to make up some ground today at a price. But I want to use 5s and 6s and move the chains.
And you brought up, it's an important point too, because he's got the rail and he does have speed. My boy Colton, he is adding blinkers. That's not in the form. But I just felt with the presence, first of all, he's not shown the ability to last by any stretch. No. But with the presence of the 3 as well stretching out, it's not like he's going to probably be alone and loose.
Yeah, unless those blinkers give him the ability to fly. Yeah. I don't know. He's getting a mile.
7th race. This one completely changed. 2 huge scratches near allowance optional 62 claiming group. 6 furlongs. Repo Rocks is gone. South Sea is gone. Both major players. I'm really disappointed. First, I would have loved it. I always want to see the race intact, but I wanted to see South Sea if he could because that was for 16 claiming, and then they're stepping him up to 62,000, and he got a number that warranted it. I was very excited to see him.
Yeah, one of the best last race figs in the race.
So you have gone to the 8. We both agree in this spot. There's another horse too, Prince James. Just went for 25 no winners at 3. Got a huge figure, hard to trust. So with the scratches, we both wind up outside.
Yeah, I picked Secret Rules on top to start here. I thought he had a useful return last time out when he was. He did a little chasing. What do you think now that day? And what do you think now had the complete run of the race? And what do you think now came back and
back-to-back 104 buyers for him.
Holly Hughes last time. So. I thought that was a useful race. He had every right to get a little tired in the last 1/8 of a mile, which he did after chasing a now New York Bred Stakes winner. He's drawn outside. He has some speed in here with fast getaway, and I would imagine Amundson's going to have some speed coming off
What's
the
his
break.
deal? This used to be a very good horse. I loved him at Saratoga when he won in the mud, and these last 2 starts, he's just disappeared.
It's it's funny where you put that just now, because I would like to go to his stall and be like, dude, what's your deal? What happened? Right? It'd be great if they could tell us what happened.
I was a huge fan of this horse.
Me too. It'd be great if he could tell us what happened. He's like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Maybe.
But it doesn't seem that way, because the race 3 back, he showed up. Like the old Amundsen showed up.
Yeah.
It wasn't figure wasn't as fast as his races 2 years ago, but he showed up, and then, not going to really hold New York traffic against him. Right? Not going to hold Bo Liam against him. But where's he been? Again. There's too many layoff lines on this card. He's got 12 races on his card that we're looking at here. They date back to the September of 19. We're talking about 2.5 years to only run 12 times. Obviously there's some issues there. So, and with speed horses, when they start to lose their speed, right? It was almost like a shortstop in a center fielder. When they lose their legs, it's an issue.
There were 2 just really key kind of X-factor horses near, if you could believe their last performances. One of them gone. We talked about South Sea. The other, Prince James, the 6. Claimed by Rob Atras. 94 buyer in that win last out. It was in the slop. Won by 11.5 lengths against considerably easier, and now this massive jump up. What do you think about his chances today?
Second biggest fig of his career going into this last race was on a sloppy track as well. So I do believe the wet track helped his cause immensely last time. I also don't love betting horses out of the condition claiming races. Yeah. That's just me. But I have him second in here based on, I had him 4th originally. I had the race 8-1-4 and then the 1 and the 4 come out. So I scratch into him for second. See, the field that Saratoga Beauty is running against gives me the confidence that she's the most likely winner on the card. Truth be told, I'm a Secret Rules fan, and I'm always rooting for my man Lee Einseidler. I got to think he's going to be really, really tough today in this. He's supposed to get a good setup, gets Kendrick. He's outside. there's
Look
just
at
a lot
his,
to
who
like.
he's faced. I mean,
And his two big,
Pete's
his biggest
play
rivals
call,
not here. You
Mijo's
could argue his
three
two
technique.
biggest rivals are scratched. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's world of difference in terms of company, with
World
the
of difference.
with the exception of Amundsen, who, if he can refine his form, maybe wake
But
up.
he's got to get back. He's got to get in that Doc Brown DeLorean and go back 18 months to find that form, right?
Well, he's got to go back 3 starts, but that was in the mud.
Yeah, I guess. I guess the race off the layoff from last year can win. I don't know.
8th race, New York
This was a
bred.
doozy.
Allowance optional claiming group, 6.5 furlongs. I wanted to go somewhere else. I really did in here. I just think Betsy Blue comes in off the bench, outside post here for Linda Rice. And I just think that the number she's been running, if she can be close to before she went to the bench, she's by far the best in here.
Saratoga makes you feel nice and warm looking at this, right?
This was September 6th last summer. Miss Jimmy, who beats her in this spot, the only one who beats her, is 10 for 23 lifetime. Actually won a stake at Finger Lakes in the next start and was second in the Iroquois.
I just realized I left Miss Jimmy out of the pick 5. This was the only one I missed. I paid like $20,000. Thanks for putting this up, guys.
Sorry.
Appreciate it. So yeah, she's been off the problem now is the layoff, and the problem is Linda's barn is not going as Linda's barn usually goes. And it's a big field. This horse is going to be the favorite. Look, I have her second. She's obviously the horse. She's the horse to beat, right? She has the body of work overall. I mean, she's never missed a board in 9 starts. It's pretty impressive for a horse that started her career for 40 and broke her maiden for a quarter. She's a stakes winner, a state-bred stakes winner. Yeah, I mean, she makes a lot of sense. It's just you're going to take a short price for a barn that's not winning as it normally does. So, I mean, you're using her on every exotic, on every multi-race wager you're making. You're not leaving her off the ticket, but I don't want to take her at 2-1 or 5-2. So I went to a horse that I thought was kind of obvious, right? I don't love. Now I'm an equipment change guy, but I don't love the equipment change on Buy Hubby Hello Money because I don't really think she's done anything wrong. I just feel like she's kind of been, what's her best distance? Are you going to mess with her style now with the equipment change? I think it's important, too. I know she's run equally fast figs on fast ground and wet ground. I think a fast track is going to help her a lot today. I will say this. There's not a ton of speed in this race. I would imagine Beautiful Karen is going to go. I think people think there's more speed in this race than there actually is. I would imagine Beautiful Karen is going to go. I would imagine Secret Love's not going to be far behind. I think there's a chance Beautiful Karen can bottom this field out. And I am not Beautiful Karen's biggest fan at all. But another one who I think it's going to help her cause getting back on fast ground today. And more importantly, she's supposed to be loose. I think the horse that's closest to her early, right, is Secret Love. Big Q used to have enough speed. She really doesn't anymore. Chasing Kara's not fast enough. A bit of Irish Sass's speed is when they go longer. Man, I would imagine if Dylan puts her on a send and can get in front of this field, this is a race where I would have loved to have gone too deep. I almost have to include her in my late pick 4 and late pick 5 because she is supposed to be in front of these horses. And getting back to a fast track, I think that is going to help her immensely. Now, we just got done talking about not taking Betsy Blue at a short price for the same exact barn. The difference is this filly's going to be twice the price. You don't have to deal with the layoff, and she's loose speed.
Yeah.
So you never deal in absolutes. That's why you never deal in absolutes, because I just got done knocking the same trainer I think can upset the field at a better price, but the circumstance is completely different between Betsy Blue and Beautiful Karen today.
I think there might be a couple that want to try and pressure. Kendrick on Impossible Donna, you don't think will try?
Where's her form's gone too? What's happened to her?
I'll say this, Mosienko, she got a big, I look at thoroughgraphs a lot. She got a big figure. She's a 5-year-old mare though, but that was off the bench, first start of her 5-year-old campaign. She got a number that puts her right in the mix. If she can build off that, she intrigued me. She's 12-1 morning line. And she's going to save ground, and I thought maybe would get a little pace help in this race.
Yeah, if you think if you think there's some pace off her last race, she's a player.
Everybody in the world seems to be going to one horse in the
whole
last
world?
race, except for us.
No,
Wait,
I'm
let's see.
there.
No, you did.
I'm there, buddy.
Everybody in the world.
I'm there, buddy.
Charge Account seems like the biggest standout in the history of the meet. Why does everyone love this horse so
The
much?
illustrious 3.5-month history of the Saratoga 2022 meet.
It's like the horse cannot lose.
I almost did what you did. I almost put B-Bit on top.
You did, huh?
I came very close. But that would have been strictly to be a contrarian. Strictly to be a contrarian. No other reason. I don't love the drop, but again, Andy will call me Mr. Math at this point. The math works on the drop. This horse is going to, if this horse wins against, I mean, I shouldn't even say wins if she wins against claim. It's if she wins, she will get claimed.
Okay.
The way they claim horses around here, they'll probably take 3 horses out of the year. If she wins against claim, they're going to make some money on her. I mean, that's the name of the game. Make some money, move the chains, on to the next one in the claiming ranks.
You're talking about who?
I'm talking about charge account.
Okay.
Talking about charge account. This would be a race where if charge account or B-Bit doesn't win this race, I will not be cashing anything.
Yeah, look, B-Bit.
There's no cash for the Big A if one of those horses don't win.
14 of her 34 starts, she has been first or second, 6 wins. Rob Atras off the claim. We know how dangerous he is with that maneuver. That last race was just awful from her, and gets a little bit of a drop. She was in the customer experience race, charge account race. You look at all the races back to that. I mean, pretty consistent runner. It almost makes you scratch your head. And Chris Engelhardt is going really good too. How did this horse not fire?
The other problem is her 2 layoff races were really good. So that was the like I said, I was going to be a contrarian and pick her. When I looked at how good her 2 layoff races were prior to last time, and how she was awful last time, I just decided
I just think we're going to get a better version, the more realistic version of her. And if she is back to what we've seen even 2, 3, 4, 5 starts back, she's right there with charge account.
Yeah.
But I've never.
That last race bothered me a lot.
Sweet Mia, any kind of dance. This horse stretching back out here. Got a decent number in that win last time out. That was at 6 furlongs.
Yeah, here she is. Picking them up and laying them down, as Phil Georgieff used to say. Yeah, she beat Greatest Level, came back to run poorly. You'll be able to take a look at how Awesome Injure runs earlier on the card today. I mean, I guess she can get a piece of this. She'd have to get so much faster to compete with charge account off 2 of her last 3 races.
And her best probably has probably been at shorter distances. Yeah. Last thing I'll say, Barista Vixen, 3rd off the bench, claimed by Linda Rice, but 3rd off the layoff for this 5-year-old mare, and she's paired up numbers that I think she's going to take a move forward. So if she does, Barista Vixen, I think, is going to be in the mix.
Likes the deer at Aqueduct, too. I have a 4th.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good luck today.
You too.
Always again, fun. If you're not going to cash, if what happens?
If the 3 to 4 to win the last race, no cash for the Big A.
Okay.
We'll be heading to sunny South Florida, having to make a deposit into the NYRA Bets account. And I'm not eligible for the bonus. I've had my account for, I don't know, when it opened. That bonus that we're talking about right there, Greg.
Get signed up. Get after it. $200 deposit match sign up bonus. Code to use. Bonus 200. Go to NYRABets.com, download the NYRABets app, and be part of the action. Also, at Santa Anita, take advantage of this. You got to opt in. $3,000 late pick 5 bonus. If you hit it, you share it with everyone who hits that $3,000 pot as well. Got to opt in on the website or on the app. And don't forget to watch all the racing from here at New York and Oakland today on America's Day at the Races. 32 minutes away from the opener. We kick things off at 3 Eastern on FS2. We will see you then.
I was checking the weather down there. Looks like a little bit better than yesterday.
It was. Luckily, the rain pretty much held off through the Rebel, and then it just started pouring and became sloppy in the final race. Yeah. Cold out there, though, yeah. It's like here, yeah.
I won't be cold in 3 days, my friend.
Good luck today. Enjoy your trip.
Thanks. First airplane ride.
Wow.
Yep.
That'll do it.
Johnny I's back. He's here. Reprise of the scratches and changes coming up next. Greg and Andy will see you on Friday. I'll see you guys in a couple of weeks.